There's a lot to be impressed with on the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, but comparing it to the Z Fold 2, I have questions. Hey s'mores, I'm Shannon Morse, welcome to Morse Code. Before I send my Z Fold 2 back to Samsung, since I traded it in for the Z Fold 3, I wanted to do a quick comparison video showing off all of those upgrades and a few downgrades. I've got my coffee right here, I am ready, so let's go ahead and get right into this video. The price point and the colors have changed on the Z Fold 3. The 2 was $19.99 MSRP starting, and that's $2,000, not $20, unfortunately, while the 3 starts at $17.99. That's $1,799 here in the US. Now the 2 came in bronze and black. I have the bronze version here, however, I do have a skin on top of it, which is a white sparkly skin. And the 3 is available in black, silver, and green. I got the silver version. I thought it looked really pretty, and it does match my S21 Ultra. Now there are some major changes just with the specs alone, with the most noticeable being the design. The Z Fold 2 was bigger than the Z Fold 3, from 1mm in some parts all the way to 0.1mm in other parts. So a very minor difference there, but it's noticeable. Unfolded, the 3 is slightly shorter and it is also less thick. Folded, it's less wide, but the thickness has increased by a teeny tiny margin. Now the 3 also has IPX8 waterproofing, and the frame is also tougher. The hinge is less bulky and the design looks more streamlined and compact on the Z Fold 3. There's also a lot less going on in terms of metal finishings used, and the bezels around both screens look a lot cleaner on the Z Fold 3. I also noticed that it weighs a little bit less at 271 grams instead of 282 grams, but that's still a pretty hefty phone, and it still does not fit in a lot of those car clamps that you would use to mount it because it's a thick boy. As you can see, the cover display looks about the same, although the new one is 120 Hz instead of 60 Hz that we saw on the Fold 2. Otherwise, that front camera on the front cover display is still the same 10 megapixel one as well. Now the pixel count is a little bit denser on that cover display as well, from 386 to 387 pixels per inch, and the aspect ratio is a little bit more comfortable. It's 24.5 by 9 instead of 25 by 9. Now the cover display is still crazy skinny and is something that I rarely use. I use it mostly for notifications, for checking the weather, just really simple things that don't involve a lot of typing. No surprise there. Now moving on to unfolded. I'll get both of these unfolded so you can see them side by side. Pardon all the fingerprints, that's still a problem. Now unfolded, the Fold 3 lays a little bit flatter on the surface. It unfolds to create a pretty level back, while the Fold 2 did have a slight angle to it. Neither of them lay perfectly flat though, because of that camera bump on the back. Now speaking of the back, I'll flip these over so you can see those side by side. The camera bump was also redesigned on the new Fold 3, though the cameras are pretty much the same. You will get pretty similar photos out of either of those cameras on the rear side, as that hardware has not changed, but unfolded, instead of that 10 megapixel punch hole camera lens that we had on the Z Fold 2, now we have a 4 megapixel under display camera. Now I will say it is noticeable, even though it looks like it's trying really hard to hide from view, but the pixel density is so low around the lens that it's pretty obvious that something is there, especially if you have a lighter colored background that you're looking at on the display. So it's definitely there. The photo quality on the folding display on the Z Fold 3 is pretty low, so this selfie camera, I tend to avoid taking pictures with it altogether, and I choose the better one on the cover display instead, which is that 10 megapixel, which has not changed from the Z Fold 2. I would rather that they just stick with the punch hole design so I don't feel like it's 2014 again. And I say that because I went back to my Note 4 photos from 2014, and I got better photos out of that selfie camera, so this one stinks. Now this is pretty cool. The main foldable display does offer S Pen support, but only for the Pro S Pen or the S Pen Fold edition. So you gotta buy a new one if you just have a normal S Pen, which yay, another 50 bucks or 100 bucks. So it will not work with other ones. It will literally stop you from using it if you try to use other S Pens, because you could damage the screen if you press down too hard. That interior display is the same as its predecessor, but it is a little bit stronger. Samsung says by 80%, but you can still damage it. So my advice would be Just be careful. Try not to scratch it. Don't poke it with a knife or with your fingernail because that could end up destroying some of those pixels. There is still no dust or particle resistance, unfortunately, so don't take this thing to the beach or to a dusty climate. I avoid hiking with the Fold 3 just in case. I just don't want to risk damaging the screen or damaging the hinge. Just a speck of dust under that hinge could still screw it up. When it comes to internal specs, in the new Fold 3, you do get a Snapdragon 888, which is a slight upgrade from the 865 Plus on the Fold 2, and you also have other options now of either 12 or 16 gigs of RAM instead of just 12, and 256 or 512 gigs of storage instead of just 256. So if you save a lot of photos, then you're good to go. But there is still no micro SD card slot. There hasn't been one in a very long time. Now the battery has been decreased to a 4400 milliampere hour instead of the 4500 milliampere hour of the Fold 2. Charging speeds and wattage have not changed. The battery life is pretty bad though. It will get you through at least a full 8-hour day of work with normal usage, as long as you don't have it on constantly. But the Z Fold 2 can do 10 hours no problem, and it's still doing 10 hours for me, while I am seeing more like 7 hours on the Fold 3. So that's a really, really big difference, and that's pretty concerning. I know that it probably has to do with the battery decrease in size and capacity. I know it probably has to also do with that 120 Hz cover display as well. But either way, I'll have fully tested the battery life on the Fold 3 in my complete review, so you will see some solid examples in that video, not just estimates. So overall, I didn't see as many changes with the 3 as I was expecting before the announcement, and I was kind of surprised when they went with the battery and the selfie camera changes. I am glad that the price dropped a bit. I am happy about that, and I am really loving the design differences, which aren't just aesthetic, but they also increase the durability, and that's a huge plus when it comes to a folding phone. I need a durable phone. I take these things out and about to all sorts of different places, so this is really important to me. But stay tuned, subscribe for my full in-depth review of the new Z Fold 3, as well as a new video on some pro tips and productivity features, which have changed slightly from the Z Fold 2. I really like this new phone as far as productivity goes, so I'm really excited to show those to you as well. I'm having a lot of fun testing it out, so I can't wait to show you more. I'm really excited about it. I love foldables. They're so much fun. Comment below, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer those in my reviews. Thanks again so much to my s'mores as well for subscribing and watching. I'm Shannon Morse, and I'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.